emceeing/moderating the lightning talks. So basically, I'll just be kicking people off if they take too much time. We've got 7 people, so essentially 7 people, 45 minutes. Do the math-ish, it's something like 6 minutes a person, roughly, and then about a minute for transition. So we're going to start, just go down the list in order. So hopefully, if you are not already up near the front and you are on the list to present, then please come up near the front because we don't want to wait for you to walk all the way from the back. All right, so our first person, correctly is Gao, right? Oh, Gao Jun, sorry. Okay, Gao Jun from Nanadim Kipps University, Fudan University in China, I believe. Yes. He's going to talk about FTP servers. Go.
Give him the mic. Give him the mic.
You want to use this mic? Wait, just turn it off.
Hello, I'm very glad here to introduce some work in our universities, the FTP server tool for Sakai. So when we need an FTP server, we also have some web dev and resources tools. But we know that in China, users were familiar with FTP and they don't like web dev. And especially in our survey of our teachers and students, the most thing they want is a very easy to use tool to upload and download multiple files. While users complain it's difficult to use dev tools, there are long descriptions of how to configure with web dev, and occasionally they found that it's very hard, or they don't know why it just failed to connect the server. So according to the user's demand, we want to create a new tool. So this is just use FTP protocol to access the resources in Sakai. Recently, we just implemented the resources part. Later, we maybe go on to do the Dropbox or something else. We also use FTPS to secure the transportation from the client and the server. This server is based on Apache FTP server, a stable server. And we use Sakai kernel to communicate with Sakai. So this can be configured as a Spring context file, and we just load the kernel components in the server and just communicate it with FTP way. So here's a demo path. If you're interested, you can try to use it. You can log in the HTTP web server, just a Sakai portal, and create some users and upload some files to the resource tool and access it with the FTP way. Just use the same username and password. Also, we have sources on Bitbucket, but to be frankly, just the source, and we lack of documentation and lack of help, and we want to put in more documentation on it. So, still a lot of things to do. The first is add more tests and documentation, as I mentioned, and we want to give 2 choices to deploy the FTP server. The first is standalone, and you just put the FTP server on a separate server to handle it. And also an embedded model, which we can find how much people log in from FTP server in administration view, or we can just kick the client from the web page. And also monitor the status and the duplicate file name. So we can upload the files with same names in resources now, but in FTP server, we must identify which file to the actual file. If they are kind of synced names, the server won't handle it properly. So since I have still a lot of time, I will show some cases. Sorry. Here I use FileZilla to show this one. Now we have a
Blankly blank.
Oops. So maybe you can try it out later, and I left the times to the others. Thank you.
Thank you. Better time, but 2 minutes. Thanks. Okay, so next we have Paul Dagnall. Am I saying that right? I am. He's going to be demoing a custom tool. Custom tool, maybe?
Yeah, it's just a custom.
Oh, customization. Sorry, that's what the customization to allow alternate time limits and delivery dates for assessments of us. Sounds kind of good. And this is related to Samigo. So give him a second to get his stuff connected. Anybody have any questions for, I guess, Gao related to FTP stuff in the meantime? No questions? Okay. Easy.
Okay, first of all, Gao hit the surge protector and it almost caused my laptop to run out of battery. So, that's it. If anyone is part of a university that allows for individuals to have extended time on tests, so if you have a class, and almost everybody in the class has, we'll say 30 minutes to take the test, but there'll be the cases where somebody needs double time or time and a half, things like that. It happens a lot, or if somebody needs different delivery dates. The faculty have to do is they have to create a separate test that has different time limit, different delivery dates, and then they have to kind of reconcile, okay, these are going to go to the same grade-book call, and they have to just kind of sort it all out. Nobody really likes that at the university, they don't know how you guys like it out there. So what I worked on was a project to just kind of make that integrated into the normal Samigo settings. So go into settings of normal. This is actually a customization of Samigo version 10. And so one thing that we did is we went away from the well, it's still using jQuery, but instead of like the drop downs and the bubbles, we felt that this was a little bit better UI to go through kind of like a wizard as the arrows move to the right till you get to your final destination of publishing. That's just something we did. We felt it was more user friendly. If you want to talk to the guy who did it, his name is David Bauer. He's a very average looking guy out there. He's about to wave. And he did that part. But we're going to talk about extended time and alternate delivery dates. So when you normally set up a test, you do your setting of the dates. And then if it's a timed assessment, you come in here. And let's say it's going to be 30 minutes. And then everybody has to do that. What I did is I added a new checkbox down here, offer extended time and or alternate delivery dates. And so with this, you can go here, you can pick either groups or individuals. You give them a, so if you wanted to give her extra time, we could do that. If she needed different dates, that's available too. And you can have as many of these as you want. Not really, I think I capped it at 10, so just joking about that. Just had to stop somewhere. And so you can delete them, and that's how it looks from the instructors. Am I doing okay on time here?
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's why it looks on the instructor, and so just one assessment, you could have all these individuals at different times and time limits, dates, everything. So from the student end, let's see. So I published one, actually I published two. Let's look at this one though. So if you look at the settings, these can all be modified live in the published settings. So you go down here, and so this person, okay, the test is normally 30 minutes, and this person is given time and a half. And then there's a group of people that have a delivery date, which should make it that they can't see it yet. It's not available to them because they have a football game and they're going to be gone. And so they'll be taking it at a later time. So everyone else should see it by now because it's released. And it is a 30-minute test for normal people. So now comes the exciting live demo part.
So if I log in as I can show you where everyone's names are listed, but this is a student without any special exceptions. You go in, test, advanced problem solving. You'll see it's a 30-minute test, like default. Now, if you remember from the settings, this person, I'll log in as her now. She gets an extra 15 minutes. See, she has an extra 15 minutes. It's fantastic.
Yeah, nice.
And the football players, my login is one of them. They should not be able to see the test yet because their release date is until later. This person is a football player. I'll log in with them. And then, see this, that's not the test we're talking about. But their game's canceled. So let's go back in and say, never mind, you're taking it today. So if I go in here, change that date to, should have put this computer on the I'll save this. Go back, refresh the football team. It's there now because I changed the date. So that's the extended time custom. It's something I'm working on. It hasn't even been tested yet. I'm pleasantly surprised it worked out right now. But some little project ahead.
Awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Paul? The next person is the best live demo today, probably.
So far.
So far, yes. Set the bar high. All right, next, Andrew Clissold. Hope I said that right. Is going to demo uMobile in a minute. So, it kind of goes through. Really. I think we're stealing your laptop for a second. Hopefully that's good. Try that. Sorry, a little technical difficulty. Okay, now we're really going to talk about uMobile.
Hello. My name is Clissold, and I'm going to be talking to you today about uMobile. I'm on the Enterprise Applications Development team at Open University up in Rochester, Michigan. So, what is uMobile? That's a question that gets asked pretty often. Is it an app? Is it an ideology? Is it a solution? The answer is pretty simple. It's the mobilization of uPortal. Basically, if it can be described by this phrase, then it is uMobile. So uMobile comes in a variety of different flavors. The first of which is web. And you can see by this diagram, web is actually two flavors kind of swirled together. There's the M Universality theme, which ships with uPortal 4.0 Plus. And that's created with jQuery Mobile to give you a web theme, a different experience on the mobile browser than you do on the desktop. And the other web theme is Responder, which is up and coming in uPortal 4.1. And the cool thing about that is that it implements responsive design, which seems to be where the web is headed. In addition to the web themes, there's Titanium and PhoneGap, which are build once deploy anywhere solutions, allowing you to write one application and deploy it to the app stores of the iPhone, the iPad, Android devices, Windows Phone, all with a single code base. And on the other side of the fence of that is native applications, which involves an entirely different code base for, say, Android and iOS, but you use the native SDKs directly. So what do they look like? These are the web themes here with universality on the left and responder on the right. The cool thing to know about responder is that this portlet, if you visited this on the desktop site, you would see the exact same portlet providing a consistent look and feel and user experience between the two services. But if you're looking to get an app in the App Store, you'll have to go with one of the mixed solutions. This is the officially sanctioned uMobile projects with the Titanium Accelerator on the left and the more recently contributed to PhoneGap version on the right. And this is a decision we went with at Open. We actually went with native applications. See the Android one on the left and the iOS on the right. And the interesting thing to note about this is that even though they're entirely separate code bases, we were able to keep the look and feel and user experience consistent between the two of them. So what's next for uMobile? The Titanium and PhoneGap solutions are open source and readily available already. And we're looking to open source our native versions and up and coming in the future. And another cool thing for the future of uMobile would be RESTful APIs in the portlets themselves. For example, providing a JSON feed that you could use within a native app to display some native UI rather than just a web view, one of the web themes in the app. And of course, responsive design is a big thing nowadays, and we're looking forward to that being part of every portlet in uPortal. So if you want to get involved, most of the mobile presentations were earlier today, but the slides are available online. And tomorrow there's a lot of responder going on as well. So thanks. And I just want to leave you guys with this graph here. You might not have realized this is kind of a mind-boggling figure that the US time spent accessing the internet has actually just recently in January overtaken the mobile internet usage has overtaken the desktop usage. That's not in a mobile web browser, that's within a native app. It's actually being used more than desktops. I think it's a pretty jaw-dropping figure. Thanks.
Thank you. Can't see my list anymore, so. My list is somewhere hidden on my laptop, so I'll have to just guess that. Oh, Opencast, right. So Stephen Marquard, University of Cape Town, Opencast.
The PowerPoint in here, or should I run this from?
If you click it, it should open in a LibreOffice.
Yeah.
It should work. There's just not a lot of screen space available.
Okay, great. Thanks. Stephen Marquard, University of Cape Town. It's just mobile flying contact details there, but I'll put this up in Lanyon slides so you can get to them later. I'm briefly here to tell you about Opencast Matterhorn, which is a scalable lecture capture and video management system. It's quite mature, well-established project. It's been going for a number of years now, and it's becoming part of Apereo. So we're hoping that next year we'll have the Matterhorn conference and the Apereo conference lined up. You'll meet a lot more of the Matterhorn adopters and developers, and we hope some of you will become adopters and developers as well. It's got a footprint that's quite distributed right now, heavy concentration in Europe, particularly in Germany and UK, Harvard, Berkeley in the US, and a couple of other sites there. We're running it in South Africa, another South African university. And this is probably the most important slide to help you understand what Matterhorn is. You can think of it as like a toolkit or how to set for building any type of video processing pipeline or workflow that you want to. Its most common application is an end-to-end lecture capture system. So right at the top, you can choose to capture your content in any way you like, combination of devices, media coming into the system. The core of Matterhorn is really this ingest processing engine and distribution and management, and you can configure it to push out your video to either Matterhorn's own players or to other distribution channels, including YouTube, for example. So that makes it very flexible. If you're planning an enterprise lecture capture deployment, it gives you a lot of flexibility to plan and deploy in a way that suits your requirements rather than being forced into one particular mold by a vendor. So I'm just going to go through these slides very quickly and you can look at them later online. These are a couple of different capture scenarios, so you can do fully automated classroom capture, both video and screen capture. There are a whole range of vendors that now are supporting Opencast Matterhorn as well, so you can buy these as off-the-shelf hardware if you want to. And there are scenarios that do studio recording for very lightweight, rapid production for MOOC content, for example, or any other type of prepackaged content classroom models. And you can upload your own content, and you can even put in content from the BigBlueButton recordings as well. So the core of the Matterhorn engine is really built around workflows and encoding profiles, and this is using MPEG heavily as the main video processing tool, although not exclusively that. And it comes with workflows to meet the most common lecture capture scenarios. You can adjust them, you can write your own. So an example one that we use in Cape Town, for example, we ingest recorded media from our capture agents or from Upload. We create working versions of 2 videos, the camera and presentation, make some audio. We put it into a hold queue for manual review where we turn off at the beginning and the end, check consent. And we then normalize the audio so we don't get wide and different audio levels from different venues. And then we create a whole lot of different output formats, so download MP4, flash streaming, and we archive a high quality version. So this is just a very short extract from the workflows and encoding profiles to give you an idea of what you can do. This particular one is showing a video that you've released from a hold queue, so you have an input video and you trim it beginning and end, for example, and then it creates a new output video. So this is one part of a multi-step workflow that collectively defines how you want to work with your video and what you want to do with it. And then distribution, again, you can configure this to suit what your distribution channels are. And Ian mentions Manchester, which does 1,000 hours of video a week, for example. So they publish exclusively to MP4 slides and sound. That's their distribution one. We do a couple of different formats. Berkeley is looking at pushing out to YouTube. You can compose your video for different formats, for example, picture-in-picture or side-by-side, and upload different versions to different channels. And then playback, you'll, like Sakai has 7 different ways to do things. So Opencast Matterhorn is an open source project, has a couple of different players already, for example. This is what distinguishes Matterhorn from most video systems is the dual stream player. So you can see you get both the camera view and slides, and they're synchronized, and you can jump around between them in content. This is an older Flash-based player. This is a newer, very clean modern HTML5 one, better cross-device support. And there's a mobile app as well that's available in Apple and Android app stores. And locally, we expose this as an LTI tool within Sakai, and we in fact delegate authorization from Matterhorn to Sakai, so we set up ACLs on video series so that people in that particular course have access to that set of recordings of Matterhorn. So that iframe there is an LTI placement. And here are the contact details. Opencast.org, the adopter stories will give you a sense of the variety of Matterhorn deployments and configurations across some big sites, how to work the ETH direct. Mailing lists, source code, BigBlueButton, Git, and Jira. And if you want to deploy a lecture capture system and you find this too complex to get into, you can hire commercial affiliates to do a lot of the work for you, advise you, implement, or support your system. And 2 of the most active are Entwine and Topsec. So these slides will be up on Lanyard, and if you'd like to chat to me or to my colleague more over there in Federico, at any time, please feel free to do that or drop us a mail. Thanks.
Any questions for Stephen about Opencast Matterhorn while the thread's getting set up? Do you have any questions today? Mike, you gonna use your machine? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Go kind of a little bit out. Yep. Arlen Johnson. Okay. Ready. Projector detection is not the fastest ever.
I feel like a John Cage piece where I just stand here quietly.
Yeah, right.
Oh, you got it.
Hey,
All right.
magic. I had exactly this problem earlier today.
Now you've only got 1 minute of your 5 left. So.
I know, I can do it in 60 seconds.
Arlen, Bedework, go.
All right, so actually, can I have that?
Yes, you can. Oh, and I just turned it off, too.
Thank you.
Hello. Give it a second. It should be on now.
All right, all right, this is BigBlueButton, the calendaring project, which I will try to cover in less than 5 minutes or even less, since it took me so long to get set up. All right, so BigBlueButton is a standards compliant open source comprehensive calendaring and event system. So what does that mean? Oh, hey, I'm back. I'm back. I'll tell you what that means.
You touched it.
I touched it, I did.
You never touch computers.
Oh, man.
That cable is so young.
One more shot. Let's try that. Hang on just a second.
Should run back straight over there.
Come on. Do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. I touched on minutes ago there. Okay, good. All right, so who's using BigBlueButton? It's used by institutions, large, small, commercial, nonprofit, governments, the whole 9 yards. It's used all over the world for exchange replacements, for all personal calendaring. It's used for public events calendaring, and it's used in systems large and small. We just found out, even though it was announced in October, this is one of the great things about open source, right? Things get picked up by products and other projects and use systems without even us knowing right off the bat. The Health Lead Time Scheduler, which was the first place winner for the VA medical scheduling for appointments, that's been in the news a lot lately. It's going to be using BigBlueButton as its CalDAV server for the back end of that system, so that's neat. Some of the features that come with BigBlueButton: public calendars, feeds and widgets, public events administration, submission for your community into the public events system, personal calendaring and CalDAV servers, so things integrate perfectly well with your Android phones or your iPhone or other CalDAV clients. Got APIs for web services, both RESTful and SOAP, and a time zone server to go with that. We recently added into the system Elasticsearch, some integrated caching. So it's built right in, the cache will clear itself. A no-build deployment, download it and run it and so forth. Some other things that we've got. So here are 12 highlights, which I will run through steps. So BigBlueButton thrives on standards by implementing them, by actively participating in them, and developing them. So a lot of the developers in BigBlueButton work on the CalConnect committees, also writing in, standards for the IETF and for OASIS and so forth. Interoperability wins. We're not going to try to take over, or we're not going to try to compete directly with Google. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to do that, but our stuff needs to be able to interoperate. We understand that people are going to be in different systems all around the world, and their events need to be able to easily transport back and forth for scheduling and so forth. Direct integration with clients is extremely important, especially for mobile calendar. So we need to make sure that standards, which BigBlueButton supports fully, it's a standards compliant calendaring system, will allow you to pull up their event schedules directly into their calendaring applications on their devices. There's no mobile app needed for this. It's direct integration, and that's what people really want. There is a new public UI for BigBlueButton 3.10. It allows for multiple selection of lots of different calendaring categories, an integrated query that gets built into that. All this stuff is banded and worded together. It's got responsive design throughout. It's Ajax and to scroll. You got all that stuff going on. Makes it much more snappy. And you can build feeds and widgets directly in the UI if the end user wants to. And I'm very pleased that it's got a AAA rating for the web content accessibility documents. We're trying to get that AAA rating across all of the clients for BigBlueButton, and this one's the first that's got it. The others are A and AA, I believe. But we're getting there. All right, scalability. We've moved to Elasticsearch. The front ends are using the NoSQL approach. There's still, of course, a database back behind the scene for persistent storage, and a new fully integrated caching scheme. 5, no build deployment. Download it, put it on a server, configure it through a web browser, and you're done. It's a black box. It can be treated as a black box. Deploy it, roll it out to your users, and that's it. Sharing and notification. BigBlueButton 3.9 implemented the CalDAV sharing, and that allows people to say in Apple's iCal, for example, they can just say, hey, I want to share this with my friend Steve. And Steve's going to get a notification saying, hey, Arlen wanted to share a calendar with you. And I can say, no, heck, I don't like Steve, I'm not sharing it. Or I can say, sure, and the next thing you know, you've got it there. BigBlueButton's got that integrated into it as well. Event registration. There's a nascent system that doesn't involve credit cards or anything like that. But if you want to make your events registerable, you can set up an event that says, you know, I can allow 45 people to sign into this event. We can keep track of who the registrations are. We can add and hold registrations and so forth. A number of different places have shown some particular interest in this recently, like the National Public Library, which also funded a fair amount of the work that we did for BigBlueButton 3.10. Image uploads, that's something that came in with 3.9, so that's still there and available. Automatically rescale, create thumbnails for you. And resource management directly inside the administrative UI allows you to upload anything from XML files, text documents, images, and so There is BigBlueButton Sometime, which is the scheduling assistant developed at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Nicholas Blair. That is now being, or soon to be distributed. We're still working on that process of getting that distributed as part of BigBlueButton as BigBlueButton Sometime. This allows for, say, faculty members to set up an availability schedule and have students sign into office hours, or have your therapists at, meeting with stressed out students say, I'm available for these hours, go ahead and I'll allow 2 people at a time or 1 person at a time, and so forth. Very interesting. It works with BigBlueButton, it works with Oracle, it works with a number of other calendaring systems. BigBlueButton is a platform. So we provide CalWS SOAP, CalWS REST, applications that can work directly on top of CalDAV. BigBlueButton Sometime does this, as well as the Healthy Time is a system that is now using it. And of course, because we're standards compliant, we work actively with the standards communities. We're always trying to support the latest standards, such as uPortal, which is consensus scheduling, like we do with Doodle, right? Someone's going to set up a grid of when they want stuff to be available. People will vote on what their favorite times are, and then the organizer says, bam, pick that one. And then a scheduling message goes out to everybody, and if it's in your phone, they get, oh, they just got this event created. So thanks. That's BigBlueButton.
That's right. Sorry. All right, so I think technically we do have 1 more person on the schedule. I'm gonna ask that we maybe bump the last person to tomorrow. Who is it? Is it here? It's Thomas. Is that okay if we bump you to tomorrow? Okay. Sorry, I apologize. But we're running late, so I'm gonna get Fred in as last person, and then we'll have another series of lightning talks tomorrow. So, and he'll be first. So encourage the rest of you to sign up as well for tomorrow. Fred's going to talk about BigBlueButton integration with OAE.
All right, I'm what they call the closer. There we go. Okay, so how many people here have used BigBlueButton before? Okay, how many people have used Apereo OAE? All right, maybe we can bring those 2 together. So this is BigBlueButton here. This is actually running right now. That's a laptop in the hallway showing, so if someone walks by, you can see them. So for those that don't, or have not heard, we believe, so I wear 2 hats. I'm CEO of Blindside Networks. I'm also the product manager for BigBlueButton. We believe every student with a web browser should have access to a high-quality online learning experience, and we intend to make that possible with BigBlueButton, and it's open source. So we do real-time sharing of audio, slides, video, chat, desktop, and I'm going to make some mobile stuff happening out there. Go check it out. And nice, nice. And they're 3 use cases we focus on: one-to-one, small group collaboration, and one-to-many. Okay, so let me switch over. This is Apereo OAE. We were I attended the boot camp session yesterday with them. Very cool guys, doing some really cool stuff. We worked for about 3 months to do a prototype integration. As OAE is a collaborative environment, we thought, wow, it'd be really good to have some real-time collaboration there as well. So we created another tool called My Meetings. This is all OAE. So if I click to create a new meeting, I'll go through what the module looks like. So you can create a title for it, meeting and so on, give a description. What would you like to see as a welcome message? You can see what the session is recorded. What I'm doing is I'm setting up the parameters for starting an integrated session. How many minutes you want the meeting to run for, and then we did it so that you could integrate with Sakai OAE, Apereo OAE, the groups in that. Okay, so I'll just cancel. So I have a meeting already here, so I click it. We'll go off to our server. Try this. I had this ready because I switched laptops. All right, so now I click, it comes up, and it logs into the BigBlueButton session. So the use case would be you want to collaborate together with some folks inside the Apereo OAE, create a quick meeting, send a message out to them, they all come into the session, you get to collaborate, audio, video, slides, chat, desktop sharing. It's done, it's recorded. The recorded session surfaces back inside of OAE. It can be used as a thread of discussion. and we want to make sure it's like really seamless and easy to use, just like we were, just like our goal was with the integration with Sakai. That's it. Any questions?
Thanks, Fred.
Cool.
Thank all the speakers. If you see them later tonight, maybe a beer or something to that effect. And thanks, guys, for coming. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We'll try to smooth that out for tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hey, running over.
You know, when you're the last session of the day, you should just keep going, man.
Yeah, right. Because everybody wants
to rush.
Is there anything?